A Marine captain tried to expose him, and at first, no one listened. In fact, many people laughed it off, calling it paranoia, jealousy, or the ramblings of an officer who had spent too many years in the fog of classified operations. But by the time the truth about Ghost Talon finally came out, the laughter had disappeared, replaced by silence, shock, and a deep sense of unease that spread far beyond the military itself. This story begins with Captain Elias Warren, a decorated Marine known not for reckless heroics, but for discipline, patience, and an almost uncomfortable commitment to accountability. He believed in the chain of command, believed in the system, and believed that loyalty and truth were not enemies. That belief would be tested when a name began appearing again and again in after-action reports, intelligence briefings, and blacked-out documents: Ghost Talon. Officially, Ghost Talon did not exist. It was not a unit, not an individual, and not a sanctioned operation. Whenever Captain Warren asked about it, he was met with vague answers or polite warnings to focus on his mission. But the pattern was impossible to ignore. Operations credited to regular units showed results that didn't match their capabilities. Missions failed in public reports yet succeeded in secret. Targets vanished without explanation. And in every case, one phrase lingered in the margins like a shadow: GT involved. Captain Warren did what Marines are trained to do when something feels wrong: he gathered evidence. He reviewed timelines, cross-checked communications, and spoke quietly with soldiers who had been on the ground. Many of them described the same thing: a presence they never saw clearly, support that arrived without notice, and orders that came from no identifiable command. Some referred to it as a myth. Others refused to talk at all. Fear, Warren realized, was doing the talking for them. When he brought his concerns up the chain, the response was swift and chilling. He was advised to drop the matter. His performance was questioned. His mental health was subtly but publicly scrutinized. The message was clear: stop digging. But Captain Warren didn't stop. To him, the military was built on trust, and trust could not survive secrets that answered to no one. So he did the unthinkable. He went outside his immediate command, submitting a formal inquiry to oversight authorities and attaching everything he had found. That was the moment the pressure truly began. His clearance was suspended, his access restricted, colleagues distanced themselves. To many watching from the outside, it looked like the system working as intended, removing a potential liability. But Captain Warren knew better. He was getting close. What stunned everyone was not just that Ghost Talon was real, but what it actually was. Ghost Talon was not a rogue assassin or a single elite operative, as rumors had suggested. It was a compartmentalized program operating across branches, contractors, and intelligence agencies, designed to function without permanent records, oversight, or accountability. Its purpose was simple and terrifying: to act where the law, politics, or public scrutiny made official action inconvenient. Ghost Talon didn't just gather intelligence. It shaped outcomes. It influenced conflicts before they were acknowledged and resolved crises before anyone knew they existed. Its operatives rotated identities, jurisdictions, and even legal status. No one person knew the whole picture. That was the point. Plausible deniability wasn't a feature, it was the foundation. When the truth began to surface, it didn't come out in a dramatic press conference or a single leaked document. It came in fragments: financial records that didn't align, mission logs that contradicted each other, testimony from retired officials who suddenly chose to speak. Each piece alone was dismissible. Together, they were undeniable. The public reaction was immediate and divided. Some saw Ghost Talon as a necessary evil in a dangerous world, proof that someone, somewhere, was willing to make the hard choices. Others saw it as a betrayal of democratic principles, a shadow authority operating beyond consent or control. But nearly everyone agreed on one thing: Captain Warren had been right. What truly stunned everyone, though, was the cost. Not just the financial cost or the political fallout, but the moral cost. Ghost Talon had succeeded because it operated without limits. And in doing so, it had quietly redefined what was acceptable, what was justifiable, and what could be hidden if the results were good enough. Captain Warren never sought fame. By the time investigations concluded, his career was effectively over. He was reassigned, then quietly retired. There were no medals, no public apology, no acknowledgement of the personal risk he had taken. But history has a way of finding those who stand still when others look away. This story is not just about a secret program or a stunned audience. It is about the fragile balance between security and accountability. It is about how easily power can slip into the shadows when urgency replaces oversight. And it is about one Marine captain who believed that loyalty to his country meant asking questions, even when the answers were dangerous. The truth about Ghost Talon did more than expose a program. It forced a conversation that many were afraid to have. Who watches the watchers? How much secrecy is too much? And what happens when those sworn to protect a nation decide they no longer need its permission? In the end, Ghost Talon was not defeated by an enemy or dismantled by force. It was exposed by integrity. And that may be the most stunning truth of all.